Hi, and welcome to Real Life with Jenny. Grab your favorite beverage and a snack, and we'll get started. Today I am drinking one of my tried and true favorite teas, toasted coconut almond bark black tea. Yum! And I'm just eating a cheese stick. So let's get real. Today I want to talk about a verse that's been running through my head, well, probably for 5 years now, but really in the last couple days it's been running through my head. And it's God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love and of power and of a sound mind. I have quoted this verse to my daughter more times than she probably can even count. But really, I do that a lot because I am run by fear. Fear is something that has a real grip in my life and determines a lot of what I do, all the way from like what I wear to what I eat, how I act, what I'm afraid to do. So let me tell you a little story. I don't know that I want to tell this story. But we live in Minnesota, and there's lots of opportunities to do some of those crazy places that have trampolines. So you go there, you pay more money than you care to, you buy some crazy socks, and you get to go jump on trampolines. Now, note to yourself, I cannot sit in a rocking chair without getting car sick or motion sick, is maybe what the technical word is. When I'm in a rocking chair, if I rock it too much, I get really queasy. So, jumping on trampolines may not be my best option here. And I did not do a lot of jumping. But my daughter is a daredevil. You would never know it because she's quiet and meek, and a lot of people are shocked by that, but she is like, get on a roller coaster, hopefully you fall out and get caught halfway down. Like, she loves the thrill. And I do not. I like my feet firmly planted on the ground with a cup of tea and enjoying life. So we went to this trampoline park, and they had a little zip line where you got harnessed up, you got a helmet, and then it flew around the little area and came back in. I watched my daughter do it. She just, like, it was amazing. My husband did it, and my daughter's like, please, Mom, it's so fun. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm a team player. I've paid money to be in here. I might as well, like, get my money's worth, because I'm always afraid, there we go, that I'm wasting money if I don't do something. So I get up there, I get my harness on, I talk to the kid of about 17. I'm like, are you sure this is safe for a lady my size? Like, are you positive? He's like, yeah, ma'am, you're fine. You always love when you're called ma'am. I miss being called, yes, miss. Anyway, that's just a side note. So I get up to the top, and I'm standing at the top, and I begin to freak out. I mean, not like, quietly, no one can see that I'm scared, like I'm just looking tough on the outside. No, completely freak out. I'm at the edge of this going, Kevin, I can't hold my own weight. Because I'm thinking I have to hold my body up with my arms. I was never able to do a pull-up in school. What made me think this was a good idea? I'm hysterical. And now all of a sudden there's a line of, I don't know, 4 and 5 year olds lining up behind me that are like, come on, lady, move on. And I'm in the front. I have tears streaming down my face. And I'm standing on the edge, like, please don't make me do this. And Kevin's like, just jump and go. It holds your weight. I can't do this. Yeah. So it got to the point that the ladies at the checkout, I mean, like the check-in space, came over and said, ma'am, you can do it. It will be fine. And finally, there was so much pressure to do this, I had to just let go. And I cried the whole way around the 6 mile. I mean, it's like a 30-second ride, by the way. But it felt like an eternity of me dangling in the air by this thin little rope. I was terrified. I got off and I said, I love you, honey, never doing that again. And my daughter went on about 12 more times. I am just I live in fear. And so I just wanted to come and chat with you about that process for me and how I'm trying to move beyond my fear. Now, have I conquered my fear? No, because I'm never going on one of those things ever again. I do not trust a teeny little rope to hold me. I do not think that going in a circle in the air is worth the. I'm good. I will stand on the ground and cheer you on to my life's, till you're fulfilled. But I'm good. So that fear we're just not going to deal with. But we are going to talk about fears that I've been dealing with just recently. Right now, we're in the midst of elections in the United States, and there's a lot of fear. What if this person wins? What if that person wins? What's the unknown? There's a lot of that happening right now. And I just really feel like my journey might help a little. I don't know. Maybe not, because here I am before standing on a ledge crying like a 2-year-old because I didn't want to jump. But bear with me. So we have been in quarantine or COVID-19 for almost 8 months, maybe even longer now, in the United States and in Minnesota. And so school has been a little different for my daughter. My daughter's a high achiever. She's extremely intelligent. She likes to be pushed. She really feels she loves routine. She's just very opposite of her mother. I am very loosey-goosey. I like to fly by the seat of my pants. Even on my podcast, I've had someone ask me if I have a script. No, I have no script. I'm just sharing from my heart, and whatever comes out, I hope it was great. I normally have an idea of what I'm going to talk about, but, I'm really loosey-goosey, and my daughter's she's very much like her father and has some really great attributes there, and I appreciate that about her. With that being said, school has not been easy this year or last spring. It has not been the normal routine. She's very social. She likes to be with people. Her mother and father aren't super exciting. We're very quiet, and there's not a lot of excitement going on here without a lot of siblings. And so this summer, we started processing through whether we should homeschool or not. And we got to the point we had started talking to Samantha about it and sharing our ideas with her. She got super excited. And then I got to science. I went out and I did some research and I pulled some science books and I freaked out. I mean, full on panic mode, standing at the edge of the zip line, scared. I was not much of a student in high school, and beyond that, I have not been very, maybe confident in the area of learning. I know I can be very detailed if I really want to be, but it's really not my thing. I'm more of an admin. I really love to help in the background. I'm not really Anyway, so I was looking at the science curriculums and just kind of lost it. And so I came back to my husband and I said, I think we need to pull the plug. I don't think we should do this. This is a really bad idea. I gave a lot of excuses of why I thought this wouldn't work. Some of them valid, some of them maybe crazy. And my husband said, you know what? Then let's not do it. So we put her back in her school, which we love, and I've talked about that before, and I love the teachers. They are amazing. But the system that they have is not working for my daughter. It's very rigid, and I appreciate that that's what they're doing. They're just doing it different than all the other districts, and it has not been a pleasant experience. It's been something, not that school needs to be super pleasant. You need to get through it sometimes. But I went from a girl who loved school and appreciated everything about it to dreading and having more tears than that I was comfortable with. And so I started Lord, you see where I'm at. You see that I'm not equipped to teach her these things. I don't know if homeschooling, we're going to end up holding her back. I mean, there's so many fears that started creeping into my life. I just went, I don't know then she won't be socialized, and then she won't be, I mean, all of those things that really just came at me that were not necessarily of sound mind. Like I said before, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love and of power and of a sound mind. And I really hold on to that verse because I feel like God is saying in that verse, He gives us a sound mind. He knows that jumping off that ledge is not actually scary because thousands of people have done it before, thousands of people will do it after, and it's most likely, if you use logic, not going to fall off. But that does not mean anything when you're fearful. And so we started processing, like, Samantha is really struggling. I mean, she was doing great in school. I don't think any of the teachers saw any issues with what was going on. We just saw her not doing well as far as emotionally and the schedule and all those kind of pieces. She's a great student. She was still great, getting A's, and she's, making friends and doing those kind of pieces. But it wasn't working. And so my husband and I sat down, and we both prayerfully came together and said, okay, let's do this. And so we talked through what we wanted to do, what we wanted to look like, who's going to teach what. And I said, yes, I will teach science. Now, here we go, right? Here's my fear creeping back up. So I picked Samantha up from school that day, and I told her what we were planning, and she said, okay, well, is this for real? Because last time we pulled the plug. And we said, yeah, we believe it's for real, and we're going to, this is our plan. And she was like, okay, not really believing what we're doing, right? And so we start moving towards that plan. And I start looking at curriculums again and trying to figure out what we want to do for A, B, and C. Well, math, language arts, social studies, all those kind of things. And we start moving down that path. And Friday night, we had already made the decision, and she went to a small party just for Halloween. And it was just a super, not a big group of people. And on Sunday morning, we got a note saying someone had COVID. So Sam is quarantined for 2 weeks. So here was our plan. The quarter ends a week later after that Friday. And we were going to let her finish out her quarter with her schoolmates and say goodbye and have, be able to give her teachers gifts and, say goodbye to everybody. And then we'd finish out the quarter. Then we were going to go to a cabin that we have for free once a year and go for 3 nights and just kind of decompress, come back, and then start school. Well, now we can't do this. We had this great plan, right? I love when you have a plan and it never comes together. So we have this great plan and it falls apart. She can no longer go to school and say goodbye to her friends. And so then all of a sudden my fears start creeping in again. Like, Lord, are you sure this is the right idea? Are you sure this is going to work? On and on and on. The cycle is going on. I'm not sleeping much. I'm really struggling. And so we see her excitement in this area that we can really, we don't want to pull her back because at this point she's really excited. So we let her go to school online for 1 more day, and then we say we're done and we start homeschooling. Now, no matter what happens with homeschooling, I know we've made the right decision because that's my sound mind, but that doesn't mean that the fear doesn't kick in, right? That all of a sudden someone says something and you're like, ooh, wait, oh no. Because a lot of people have a lot of opinions about everything, and they don't know your family and they don't know your circumstance, and they still think that they need to tell you how to do life. Anyway, maybe that was a little too close for home, but I feel like this really, not necessarily with homeschooling, because I'm not telling you all to homeschool. I fully believe in charter schools and public schools and private schools. I am a firm believer in schools, and I'm a firm believer in homeschools. I was before this point too. I never thought I would homeschool because I feel like it's not my gift, but I really know that this is what would be best for Sam, and that's what this is all about, right? We make decisions that are best, that we know with our sound mind, and we try to abate the fear by letting God be in control. So it's not about homeschooling in this episode, even though that's kind of my story. It's really about what fear is holding you back. I have heard many, many times in my life, if you could do anything and know you couldn't fail, what would you do? And I think about that all the time. Like, I would probably, I mean, I can't even start listing off the things I would do if I let fear wouldn't hold me back. In fact, even like the simple thing, I went out and bought a pair of jeans with some rips and tears in it. I know that may not seem super exciting to anybody else, but I was like, I'm not going to live in fear that I'm too old to wear these pants. So I bought a pair of pants with rips in them, and I love them because they are they're super comfortable, first of all. Who knew, right? Who knew a pair of jeans could be super comfortable? But I feel confident in them. But every once in a while, I was wearing them the other day, and I thought, does someone look at me and go, oh, wow, that lady's way too old to be wearing those? But you know what? I can't live in that anymore. I need to allow my fear. Stop allowing my fear to dictate everything in my life. So I don't know about you and where you're at and what fears you have. Maybe you've conquered fears. Please reach out and let me know how you've done that. I have not conquered all of my fears. My fears are 1 minute at a time. Getting on this podcast and talking about fear is conquering a fear. Because I don't like to look like a failure. I don't like to look like I don't know what I'm doing. And you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. But God does. That's the great thing about this is God did not create fear. Fear does not come from him. You know, so often in life I have quoted, love is patient, love is kind. And I know that God is patient, God is kind. He loves me, and he's got a plan for me, and he does not want me to live in fear. You look at people around you and you don't go, oh, I hope they're fearful. I hope that they're holding back. You want the people around you and the people that you love to be going for something big and not be fearful and taking that risk. But we're not always willing to do that ourselves. So, my quick question to you today is, if you could do anything, what would you do? And why are you not doing it? Why are you not leaping off of that zipline ledge? Why are you standing there in tears? Why are you not doing what's best for you and your family because you're fearful? And why aren't you buying that super cute pair of jeans? Well, that is all I have for you today. I pray that you would get courage this week, that you would stand, that the Lord is behind you, and that he's got a plan for you. And take a step of faith. Let's have some courage. I want to hear those stories and what's going on at Real Life with Jenny on Instagram and on Facebook. I've got a Facebook group there. You can reach out to me at christconnection.cc/Jen. And let's become courageous together. Let's set aside the fear and let's live in the love and the power and the sound mind that God gave us. You all have a great week.